Hi there, this is Mr. Prasad. Welcome to my GCSE maths class. To get you started, you've got a do now to complete in 5 minutes. Have a go and then check your answers. Here are the answers to the do now. Mark your work and hope you did well. Now, what are the objectives for today's session? Today's session, you will recall how to calculate the areas of rectangles, triangles, and parallelograms. And the main focus, the main objective is for you to be able to calculate the area of compound shapes. So just to review how we find the area of rectangles, squares, and parallelograms. Remember that units are important whenever you're calculating. When the units are consistent, when they're the same, you can do your calculations with ease. However, if they are mixed units, then you need to convert. In the first case there, the units are the same. There are no problems. In fact, all of the questions have the same unit, so we don't have a problem with that. Now, let's look at the rectangle. How do we find the area of a rectangle? We multiply its length by its width, and we have 35, and the units would be meters squared. The next diagram is a square, and all the sides of a square are equal. How do we find the area of a square? We multiply length by length, and in this case it's 10 times 10, or 10 squared, which is 100 cm squared. The third diagram is a parallelogram. Now, don't be fooled by this. There are information usually given in the question which you should not use. To find the area of a parallelogram, we always multiply the base by the perpendicular height. And as you can see from the diagram, the perpendicular height is 5 centimeters, not 7. So the area of the parallelogram is 50 centimeters. Now, I want you to look at these three shapes, the rectangle, the square, and the parallelogram, and look at the animation and make the connection with these shapes and how we find the area of a triangle. Very well. Now, you would have observed that all the shapes before were divided into two. They were halved. And therefore, the resulting shapes for each shape that we had, the rectangle, the square, and the parallelogram, resulted in a triangle. Therefore, the formula that we use to find the area of a triangle is its base times its height, and we divide by 2 because this was a rectangle. So base times height divided by 2 because this was a square. Next, base times perpendicular height divided by 2 because this shape originally was a parallelogram. Now, let's look at this example here. A triangle is given, the base is 25 cm, the height is 10 cm, and the slant height is 15 cm. What are we going to use here to calculate the area of this triangle? The height is 10 centimeters. The slant height is not used, which is 15 cm, because the area of a triangle is found by multiplying the base by the perpendicular height. This is what we mean by perpendicular. Forms are 90 degrees there. And then divided by 2. So 10 times 25 is 250. 250 divided by 2 is 125. And remember, units are important. Cm squared. Now, here is a task that you need to complete. I'm going to give you 7 minutes to be able to do that, after which the answers will be revealed and you'll mark your work. So have a go and then resume the video. So here are the answers. Mark your work, and I hope you had them all correct. If you made a mistake, refer to the earlier parts of the video to ensure that you know how to calculate the area of simple 2D shapes. Now, here's a think right task for you to do. This is now moving on to the second objective of the lesson. How would you find the area of this compound shape? There is a hint on the diagram. Think about this. Okay, good. You had a chance there to think about the question. And if you look at what we're doing, we made this compound shape into two familiar shapes that we know already. And the two shapes that we've made are, as you can see here, I'm using the dotted lines to divide this compound shape into two shapes. I've made a triangle and I've made a rectangle. What am I going to do now? If I take that triangle out and try to figure out its dimensions, that might very well help me. Now look carefully. Why is that side here 5 centimeters? Good. As you can see, here is 9 centimeters. And this length is 4 centimeters, and that's the same length, that's 9 centimeters all the way up there. So if this is 4 centimeters, then that broken line is 5 centimeters. What else do we know? This length here on the compound shape is 15 centimeters, and we can see that the bottom here is 8 centimeters. And if the whole length is 15 centimeters and this bit is 8 centimeters, then 15 take away 8 gives me 7 centimeters. Now what do I have here? I've made a triangle with base 5 cm, height 7 cm, or either way you look at the triangle. And how do I find the area of a triangle? I multiply the base times the height and I divide by 2. So 7 times 5 divided by 2, 35 divided by 2, that gives me 17.5. And then My second shape that I've made is a rectangle, and we can see clearly that the length is 9 centimeters. The base is 8 centimeters. 9 centimeters times 8 centimeters gives me 72 centimeters squared. Altogether, we combined the two areas and we have 89.5 centimeters squared. And it is important that you have the correct units there. Take a moment, and now here are two questions for you to try on your own to check your understanding that you're able to calculate the area of compound shapes. Have a go at this and then check your answer. Okay, you should have gotten 70 cm squared for the first question and 102 cm squared for the second question. Well done if you did get them right. Okay, here are two past GCSE questions for you to have a go. If you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.